Hey everyone, Rob the Backyard Gardener here, and it's time to get my tomato seedlings, my heirloom tomatoes, my brandywine, my grape tomatoes, and my Marzano tomatoes into cups. If you remember a few videos ago, I started them from seed in those Jiffy peat pots, and it's now time. They've outgrown them. They need to get into bigger cups. So I'm gonna be using the 2-cup method. I will show you how I do it step by step, and I'll show you the finished product. Let's go get started. Well, it's time to get these tomato seedlings that were planted, or I should say sown from seed on 118, into their own cups. We have 2 rows back here of grape tomatoes and 2 rows of heirloom. Not as good on the heirloom tomatoes as far as germination rate, but that's to be expected. The seeds were a little old. And then on this side, we have got 3 rows of my prized brandywine tomatoes and a row of my Marzano. And honestly, guys, I believe this is pretty much 100% germination. I put 2 seeds in most, and some had 3 seeds, and it looks like 2 to 3 sprouted in all. So the key in transplanting seedlings is getting all your prep work done. You can see here I've got several cups. This is the 2-cup method. This is where you'll have a cup that will have a hole in this one, and it will go inside like that. Now I've got a couple of them already set up from before that I'm just reusing, and several other ones that are ready to go, as well as the solo cups. I think I'm going to use the solo cups for the brandywine, and I'll be using these ones for the rest of the tomatoes since I have mostly brandywine. You also want a bin here so that when you're transplanting and you're filling with soil, you catch all the excess overflow, which I'll be showing you, and then you could dump it right back into your medium. Now my medium here is a homemade combination of my homemade compost, perlite, and then some standard store-bought potting soil. So it's probably 40% of potting soil, probably 50% of my homemade compost, and then 10% of the perlite. And then of course you want to have a pitcher full of water so that you can settle the soil as you put the seedlings in. So how I like to do my 2-cup method is pretty simple. Take out the inside cup, take a pair of sharp scissors, put it right in the middle here, and I just go back and forth like this. And once it pops in there like that, all you really have to do next is turn it. And what happens is you get a hole, don't need the plug anymore, and the cup goes in there. Pretty simple, takes all of about 10 seconds per setup, and you're done forever. You can reuse this over and over again, and it's good to go. The other thing you want to remember about tomatoes is you want to bury these guys deep. You can see that they already have a pretty good root ball on there. There's 2 on here, and I'll be thinning out this one. You don't need to keep but 1 in here. These are the Marzanos, and I only want 4 of them. But I'm going to put this all the way at the bottom of the cup. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bury as much into the cup as possible. I'll probably cut off the bottom 2 leaves here and bury this whole section into the cup. The reason why you want to do that is tomatoes will grow more roots along their stems right here. That's what these little furry or fuzzy little beginnings of roots are. These are searching for water, just wanting to grow roots. And so by burying it deep, you'll have a stronger, healthier root system, and you'll have a thicker, stronger trunk, which will produce more quality and healthier fruit. The other thing that's good and beneficial about burying it deep is it buys me another couple of weeks indoors because it won't be as tall. Let me go ahead and get one set up and I'll show you what I'm doing. So we've got a really good looking Marzano tomato here, a couple of them. And as much as this pains me to do this, guys, this is what you gotta do. So we'll cut off the weaker of the 2. Sorry, little guy, hate doing that to you. You're a good looking specimen, but you're not as good as your big brother. Then what you want to do is you got your cup here, and this is the inner cup with the hole in it. You're really going to take this guy and bump him in right inside here. But before I do that, let's go ahead and clean up the stem here a little bit. We don't need any roots under the ground. I did want to point out that sometimes you have 2 seedlings that are almost identical, and it's very tough to make a call. And in some cases, the leaves on the taller one or slightly taller one might not be as healthy looking as the other ones. And so you really don't know which one is the front runner and which one's not. You can always separate the peat pellet here and make it 2 separate plants. Now tomatoes are pretty resilient, so even if you bust a lot of the roots down here, they should come back. I'll show you how I bust these apart. By slowly pulling them apart, you literally can separate and have 2 plants. Now I'm not going to do that because I don't need any more Marzanos. I'm just going to cut the one I believe needs to go away and continue that. But I wanted to point out that with these peat pellets, you can very easily separate them and not worry too much about disturbing tomato roots because they're really resilient. Now we can take this whole piece and really just drop it in, just like that. Now I'm going to fill this all the way to almost the top, full of my homemade compost. Let me go ahead and get that done for you. Once I've got it filled up where I want, I usually gently push down the soil, but I'm going to go ahead and add some water first just to settle it in as much as possible. Then we'll pack it back down, and then we'll add even some more soil to top it back off. You can see the air pockets are going away, if that's what we want to see. And ideally, you'd want to see the water dripping into the bottom of that, which means it's soaked all the way through. Now I'm going to give it a little more top off with the soil, and we'll have 1 tomato plant done. There you go, everyone. 1 happy Marzano tomato seedling transplanted. Now, obviously, you'd want to label the cup, but in my system, I'm going to be color coding the cups because the cups already have colors on them, and I'm going to keep a log of the orange cups are Marzanos, the purple cups are Heirloom, the solo cups are Brandywine, and then the grape tomatoes will be the light bluish green ones. So I won't need to label them just because I want to be able to reuse them without marking on them or putting tape on them to pull off. But you could do that if you wanted to. Now I need to go ahead and get the next 30 plus tomatoes done, and I'll give you a peek at the end. All right, everyone. After probably about an hour of doing it, we've got quite a bit of tomatoes here. Quite a bit of tomatoes, but I've got them all done and I'm super excited. I've got 12 quality Brandywine tomatoes, as you can see here. You know, it was tough to cut some of the other really good ones out, but I already have 12, and these 12 plants should be probably more than I really need. And we'll probably thin them out when I get even further along. I've also got, it looks like 8 grape tomatoes. I've got 6 of these Heirloom, and I've got 4 of the Marzanos. Now I had to use 2 different color cups on the grapes, 4 orange and 4 blues, because I didn't have enough of the blue cups, but I know where they're at and I know what they look like, so this should be good to go. I'm glad I got that done. So I hope you enjoyed the video. As you can see, I've got lots and lots of tomato seedlings started. I'm looking forward because the 4 brands I'm growing this year I'm excited about, mainly because the Brandywine tomatoes I absolutely loved last year and didn't get enough of, so I'll be having those. The grape tomatoes were the ones from a few years ago. We got about 1,000 of those grape tomatoes. And then, of course, the Heirloom I'm excited about because I just wanted to try some different types of varieties of tomatoes, and I'm pretty sure they'll be pretty tasty, and if not, we'll give them away or they'll look good on the kitchen counter. And then finally, I love making tomato sauce and canning tomatoes, and if you saw last year I did a little bit of that, and the San Marzano tomatoes are supposed to be great for that. So anyway, long story short, I'm super excited to get these in the ground in about another month and a half. In the meantime, I'll just make do looking at them in the cups, and if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe, and again, thanks for watching.